Welcome, everybody, to our weekly press conference with head coach Tom Arth. This week, Akron returns home for its home opener with UAB. That's Alabama at Birmingham. On Saturday, September 7th at noon, the game will be carried on CBS Sports Network. Coach, would you like to start with an opening statement?
Absolutely, yeah. Very excited to be coming home. Have an opportunity for me to coach my first game at the University of Akron in InfoCision Stadium means a lot to me. It means a lot to our players to have the chance to show their families, our fans, our students, our university community what our football program is all about. So we're excited about that opportunity to be at home and to play and to really improve on a lot of things that we did this past weekend against Illinois.
You were without Trevor Brown and a couple other players this past weekend. I'm more concerned with Trevor Brown at this point. Number one, will he be back this week? Number two, what kind of effect did that have, if any, on your offense this past week?
I'll answer the first question. Zero effect, and we are hopeful that he will be back.
No problem. Chemistry on the line or anything like that?
No issues.
Hi, Coach. So, what do you take out of that game? I mean, obviously, yeah, it wasn't particularly close in the second half, but I mean, you did some good things, but you also have a lot of things on tape that you can see for the future.
Right. No, and I think that's exactly what you take out of it. We certainly did not play as well as we're capable of playing, and I think that's the most disappointing thing to me, and that's what we have to come back and what we did yesterday was really review with our team. What are the reasons for that? What are the things that we did in our preparation, both as coaches and as players, that didn't put us in position to be and play as well as we're capable of playing. So I think that was really important for us to look back and make some corrections, make some adjustments, really focus on some positives, some things that did go well, and really look to emphasize those things and improve on the things that held us back a little bit. So it's always tough coming back after a game like that, but I think our players handled it well, and I think we're ready to move forward.
Coach, you played 15 true freshmen against Illinois. 3, I think, started in the secondary. Can you talk a little bit about how they played and the potential they've got down the road?
Well, I think that was exciting for us. Coming into a year, I don't know if you really ever looked to play 15 freshmen. 11 were true freshmen, 4 were red shirts. But every circumstance, every situation is different, and for those 15 young men to go out there against an opponent like Illinois in that environment and to play as well as they did is very promising for our team. Very promising for our program. And the individuals in the secondary, there were 3 that you mentioned, true freshmen that started. There were 6 total that played in the secondary. And talking with our defensive staff and our secondary coaches, they were so proud of the way those guys played. They really played at a high level. They looked like they belonged out there in a Big Ten stadium, and it was exciting to see, really exciting to see, and I think it'll further the competition in the program at that position, and I think it lets everybody know that, hey, when you have a moment that when you're called upon, like, you have to be ready, take advantage of it, capitalize on it, and I think a lot of those young guys did that this past weekend.
Coach, may I step ahead a little bit to UAB? It's amazing what they've done in the last couple of years. The program was pretty much gone through the funding, but somehow they found a way to get it done. Last year they won Conference USA and also beat up on Northern in the Cherubundi Bowl. How much have you looked at the Blazers last day or so, and what can you find that is, for a better word, are they unique in any sense, or is it just a straight running, passing football team?
Well, first of all, to your point, UAB is an outstanding football program. They have had unprecedented success under some very difficult circumstances, and to have the season that they had last year, which was they're the best in the history of their program, is really, really remarkable. And it's a championship caliber roster, championship pedigree on that team. These are players that are used to winning. These are players that know what it takes to win tight games. So that's going to be a big challenge for us. That's going to be a really, really big challenge for our team, for our players, for our program to go out there and to compete, against a group like that. And we're excited about it. We're excited for that opportunity. We realize that, how big of a game it is for us, what a great opportunity it is for us to have a conference champion coming into our stadium, to have a chance to compete with them. So I have a lot of respect for their program, for the coaching staff. I love how they play. Offensively, they are, they like to get in, bigger groupings, 12 personnel playing in multiple tight ends. They're shifting in motion in every play. They're running the ball. They're taking shots down the field. I love it. I absolutely love their style and their brand of offense. Defensively, they're athletic. They play fast. They play physical. I have a lot of respect for their program. I think, when you watch them on tape, you see a lot of traits, you see a lot of qualities that I think as coaches in this profession you look to build in your team. And, UAB definitely exemplifies a lot of those things that are important to us.
Back to the freshmen and all that for a moment. You played all those freshmen. I'm trying to count how many guys are. I think it's close to 70 were in the game. I think I lost count there a little bit. But now you have the 4 games, to redshirt someone, or any 4, right? That's how that works.
That's correct.
And does this enter your mind now or in the future? Or if guys can play, they're gonna play right now.
I think it's my responsibility and our coaching staff's responsibility is to put the best 11 players on the field in every situation to give us the best opportunity to be successful. And we owe that to the team, we owe that to our fans and the university to do that. So if that's a freshman, if it's a sophomore, if it's a senior, our job is to put the best guys out there. And we do want to be really conscious of the red shirt. Unfortunately, there's going to be a number of freshmen that just we're not in that position, due to depth on the roster or just their flat-out ability to help us win football games now. That they're going to play, and they're not going to redshirt. But there will be some. There'll be some that played in the game last weekend that do end up redshirting, and we are very conscious of that, very conscious of the number of games that they play in, and want to maximize those experiences. I think it's a fantastic rule, and really a great job by the NCAA and in instituting that 4-game rule for freshmen, because it allows them an opportunity to develop within your program. It allows them an opportunity to stay engaged with the university, to stay engaged academically. I think that our players, when you look at it, who are playing as freshmen, perform better in the classroom than those that are redshirted. Sometimes when you're going to redshirt, you kind of take a redshirt year from football, you take a redshirt year in the classroom, you take a redshirt year in life, and you really just don't improve. And in a lot of ways, you develop a lot of bad habits. So I think the NCAA really did a great job, in allowing our freshmen to have an opportunity to compete early in their careers.
Could you qualify Cato's comfort level out there this past weekend?
I think you'd certainly have to ask Cato that, but I think there were times where where he wasn't comfortable. He was a little bit antsy. He took some hits early on, and we didn't. At times we protected very well. We had great protection, and in those moments, Cato was very accurate, and you were able to make plays down the field. And there were other moments where where we didn't perform quite as well. And Cato, obviously, that's part of playing the position. That's part of playing quarterback, and you have to stand in there, and you got to know where your quick throws are. You got to know how to get the ball out of your hands, and know how to find completions and avoid taking sacks. So that's something that we're working on across the board offensively. Certainly, a lot of things that we have to do better on the offensive line, but also wide receivers. We got to be more decisive. In our route running, we have to paint a clearer picture for the quarterback, and the quarterback has to know where his quick throws are and get the ball out of his hands, and not put us in that situation.
Quick follow-up. Would you chalk any of that up to nerves?
I don't know. Cato hasn't played in a while. Cato hasn't.
Just generally the offense.
I don't know if it's nerves. I certainly didn't sense that on the sideline at all. I thought our guys had a great attitude. I thought they had a great attitude throughout the entirety of the game. regardless of the situation or the score. I thought we had a really great attitude. We're very positive. We're very composed throughout the course of the game. But I do think that year one, game one, new offense, new defense, new coach. It's not easy. It's not easy. And I think, even for me, and I talked to the team about this on Monday, sometimes you go through and you have, a spring semester like we had, and we had so much success in the classroom, and spring practice was outstanding. Where we were at the beginning of that to where we finished up was, such a different group. And then we had a great summer. We had an outstanding fall camp where it was extremely competitive. It was fun. There was a lot of energy, a lot of really great things happening. And I think you kind of get into this mode where, you're just expecting everything to kind of come naturally and to come easily. And I think that, what we talked about is that, unfortunately, that's just not how life is. Like, nothing comes easily. Nothing worthwhile ever comes easily. And the road to success, the road to greatness is filled with a bunch of potholes. It's filled with a bunch of, detours and things that you got to overcome. And, and I think that, that's what we have to learn in all of this is, understanding, like, okay, what did we do leading up to that point? What are all the great things that we've done to give us a chance to be successful? And then what are the things that we're doing week in and week out, day in and day out, to make sure that we put ourselves in position to play as well as we can? Every single week. And I think, there's things that I can do better. There's things that our coaches can do better. There's things that our players can do better on a weekly basis in preparation to give ourselves a better chance. But I think that, it's just, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. And I think we have a talented football team, and I think we can have a very good season. But we have to improve every single week, and we have to keep doing the things on a daily basis that have put us into the position where we were at coming out of fall camp.
Coach, got a two-part question. Bubba Arcelanian was your player of the week. I mean, can you talk about him a little bit? He's 5'9", 200 pounds. As far as recruiting now, if you see a guy on tape that's 5'9", 200 pounds, will you take a second look now since you've had success with Bubba?
Those are the kind of guys I loved at John Carroll. I absolutely loved him. We had a guy, Jimmy King. He's actually coaching at Lake Catholic now. Jimmy reminds me of a lot of Bubba. Jimmy was about Bubba's size, and he was never big enough for us even at John Carroll. And every year, we tried to replace him. We tried to take him out of the game, and we just couldn't. He just made too many plays. He just played too hard. He was too tough. He was too instinctual, too smart. And Bubba's, got a lot of that in him. By no means from a physical stature standpoint do you look at Bubba and say, yeah, that's a starting linebacker in a Division I college football program. But as cliche as it is, you can't measure the size of his heart. He plays so hard. He plays with so much intensity. And he plays that way every single day. We met with the team and we showed some examples of a few guys at practice that had outstanding weeks that were playing hard. It wasn't a coincidence that Bubba, made that cut up, because he goes every single day. It means so much to him. And, that's the type of players that we're looking for in this program. There's guys like Bubba. They may not all have the height, weight, speed, all the measurables that, people look for, but at the end of the day, like, they're great football players. They're competitive. They're smart. They're tough. And, Bubba's just he's an outstanding example of that. Couldn't be more proud of him, particularly coming off the bench, in the role that he was in, really coming into the game as a backup, knowing that he was going to rotate in. He did not let that affect him. He took advantage of the opportunities that he had. He made the most of them, and he's putting himself in position right now to be an every down player for us.
Okay, well, that was going to be my question. So I asked about the running backs. You used two, at least that I could count. I think it was just the two, and you used three. Or
Micaiah Burton.
Oh, that's
freshman,
right. He did get in. Yeah.
as well.
I mean, is that the kind of thing where these are your guys? I mean, or this you evaluate and practice? I mean,
Yeah. No, I don't know if that's the case. Every day our players are competing for their roles, and You know, because you started last year doesn't mean you're starting this year. Because you started game 1 doesn't mean you're starting game 2. You know, every day you have to earn it, and you have to prove it every single day. And there's, we hope, going to be guys behind you that are pushing you and that are chasing you and that are competing with you. And that, you know, that's how your program improves. That's how you get better. So, you know, I think that, you know, those that played, you know, DT and Brandon Lee, who played the majority of the snaps for us at running back, I thought they both played well. You know, I thought B. Lee was a great spark. He's a change of pace, you know, hits it really quickly, and, you know, is capable of making people miss and getting some explosive runs for us. DT's, you know, more your, you know, powerful guy, you know, brings a little bit more, you know, kind of behind his pads and things like that. He's bigger. But, you know, I thought both played well. I thought both ran well when, you know, when given opportunities.
Being a local guy, there was a pretty good contingent of people who came to your introductory press conference, past coaches, players who played for you with John Carroll, family, friends. You expecting a decent group of people coming out for the home opener on Saturday?
We are. You know, I know, you know, my family will be here, a lot of friends. You know, my cousin owns a bar on the west side of Cleveland, and the Public House, I'll give it a, you know, give them a shout out. Public House right over there by Cam's Corner on off Lorraine and Rocky River Drive. But, you know, they have a bus. You know, they have a big bus where they loaded up a lot of their patrons and people that, you know, family, friends, and people of that nature. So they're bringing a bus crew out, and you know, so I'm sure, you know, there'll be a great group of people that you know, that I've known for a long time, and you know, that means a lot to me. You know, just to be back in Northeast Ohio, to be coaching here, and to have that opportunity is, you know, is what it's all about.
Generally speaking, how'd you come out health-wise this past weekend?
Pretty good, pretty good. You know, I think there's, you know, obviously bumps and bruises, and you know, just as a normal course of a game. But we do feel that we're healing up, and some guys that got banged up in the game, I think are on the road to recovery and progressing well. And hopefully, you know, those that weren't full go today will be full go tomorrow.
And do you want to pick Ignatius Mentor for us?
I'm going to stay out of that. I'm going to stay out of that. I think everybody knows where my heart lies, but those are two programs that I have an incredible amount of respect for, and it's going to be a great football game.
Any other media questions? Does anyone from our sport communication class have a question for Coach Arth? Come on, be brave.
Come on, JC.
No? Nobody has a question? No? All right. Well,
You guys really need to do a story on Nick and JC back there. Watch those two work at practice. We need our players working like those two work every single day out there. They're managers for us, and they do a fantastic job.